Victims of stolen cars in New Orleans are often left with several $100 bills from a towing company to get their cars back. But after our reporting, it looks like that's going to change. The city of New Orleans announced today it will cover the towing and storage fees of stolen vehicles recovered in the city.
Well, Erica Ferrando joining us now in studio. And Erica, this announcement comes after a WWL TV report in January, right?
That's right. About 8 months ago, I spoke with a carjacking victim who had to pay $400 to get his stolen car back from a private towing company. He felt like he had been victimized twice, and many over at City Hall agreed.
They told me to leave it running and get out.
In January, we spoke with a carjacking victim who asked not to be identified after he was chased, pushed to the ground, and his car was stolen. What he didn't realize until days later was his pocket would take a hit too.
I did not know this. Crime victims have to pay to have their cars returned to them because they've been towed and they've been stored in a tow lot. I already had to replace my phone, so being a crime victim is going to cost me close to about $1,000.
He had to pay a private towing company $400 in cash to get his car back.
No one should be paying out of pocket who's a victim of a crime to retrieve their property back.
After our report, New Orleans City Council President Helena Moreno questioned why the city wasn't following 2017 legislation she worked on to ensure victims don't have to pay to recover stolen property.
It's long overdue. You know, the city of New Orleans definitely was making a mistake and illegally having victims pay to get their cars back.
In March, the council established a $650,000 fund to reimburse towing fees paid by crime victims, and the city activated an online reimbursement portal for anyone who paid out of pocket to recover their stolen cars since August 2017. And the city of New Orleans announced Thursday future victims won't have to pay those fees at all. Companies that tow and store vehicles recovered at the request of NOPD will now bill the city instead of the victims.
It should be flagged as a stolen vehicle, and the victim will just be able to retrieve it for free.
Mayor Cantrell said this process will ultimately ensure we can relieve victims of some of the burdens placed on them by senseless acts of crime. And the carjacking victim, whose story initially brought this issue to the city's attention, was reimbursed his fees and is glad future victims won't have to pay for their trauma.
Pleasantly surprised to see the mayor put that out, and that they're actually trying to take care of people and not put them through the extra stress of having to be victimized twice.
The city says costs will be covered for up to 90 days of storage, and this only applies to stolen vehicles recovered within Orleans Parish.